Welcome to Around the Peninsula. I'm Army Sergeant Matt Cromer. Cub Scouts discovered that while Youngsung is like home, it's also just a little bit out of this world. Army Sergeant Derek Ramey takes us to infinity and beyond.
It's another beautiful weekend in this Yongsan neighborhood as Pack 89 rallies around their Aquila, which means good leader. The hoisting of the flag kicks off their weekend space camp, which focuses on science, technology, and math.
Scouting is about outdoors and camping. Some of the things that we were looking at doing was we talked about our water rockets, so propulsion. We're talking about astronomy, and they're going to earn their astronomy belt buckle.
It floats. It floats.
Do you know why?
It floats.
Because we can't.
Space camp is really fun because you get to learn about space and you get to explore. I really like camping, and I'm supposed to be starting to learn because I really want to camp in the woods one day.
Boy Scouts learn to be good citizens of the outdoors by camping. Camping also lets them learn to rely on their own skills and knowledge.
I was Cub Scout and Boy Scouts. I never made it up to the highest rank of Eagle, but I really enjoyed it as a kid, and I think it's something that every young boy should do. Learning the values of character building and learning and camping outdoors. It gives them a love of nature.
That's a good time to go.
Army Sergeant Derek Ramey, Yongsan, Korea.
Unless you got something.
For more information about Youngsung Cub Scout Pack 89, visit their Facebook page. There are a few public events as affecting as the moment when a group of people from all walks of life stand together. Army Sergeant Frank Sanchez is at a special ceremony which will change the life of one soldier forever.
A naturalization ceremony at the Yongsan Theater is being held to welcome its newest citizens of the United States. Private Chelsea Del Rosario, a soldier assigned to the 23rd Chemical Battalion, is proud to be a soldier and now a U.S. citizen.
A feeling of it's real. It's not that I'm just wearing the uniform, it's for real now. I have any rights as any other citizen does, and I'm proud.
As representatives from their native land, they bring with them their own customs while still honoring their new citizenship. The United Nations Command, Combined Forces Command, and U.S. Forces Korea Commander, General Curtis M. Scaparrotti, welcomes the new citizens.
You've embraced a new culture, and you're now part of the all-American family. Today, America is not asking any of you to forget where you came from, but instead asks you to think of who you will become.
Army Sergeant Frank Sanchez, Yongsan, Korea.
The naturalization ceremony presented citizenship to 62 people from 27 countries. There comes a time in every military member's career when they must face a conflict. Senior Airman Adam Harder reports how an airman at Osan Air Base is overcoming the darkest days of her life and turning them into her greatest successes.
If you've ever needed financial help at Osan Air Base, odds are you've seen Senior Airman Letitia Moss. Though you may not have been looking forward to that visit, her 2 cents may be the reason that you're looking forward to the next one.
She's compassionate, caring, driven.
Which could explain all of these.
She definitely is Moss Boss. Like, that's true to her name.
But it wasn't always this way. In fact, 3 years ago, Letitia was at the lowest point of her life. Her peaks were built off of flat lines.
She was adorable.
Her heaviest burden weighed just 4 pounds.
Lyric was her first name. Lyric Monroe. I actually have some pictures of her. She was a cute little girl.
Born with a heart condition, Lyric spent her 6 weeks undergoing multiple operations, attached to feeding tubes, which were unable to block her unwavering smile.
From day one, she was smiling, and that's what made me just fall in love so instantly, because I was like, oh, she's already smiling, you know. The morning that she passed away, I remember calling my job and just breaking down. And I said, you know, she passed away. And my leadership came up there and they stayed with us. And I just held her for hours. And the hospital staff let me do that because I guess, you know, it helps with coping.
A memory which she held so tightly that it began to take a hold of her.
When people are asking, you know, do you need anything? Are you okay? I would just say, I'm fine. When really I wasn't.
It's been 3 years, and the pictures of her past are bringing closure into focus.
There was quite some time where I wouldn't even look at the pictures because it would just be too much. But now I just look back at him and smile, and I'm like, oh, that's my baby.
But how could a mother ever get over saying goodbye to this face? She doesn't. And in Letitia's case, she mutes the world with meditation.
When you meditate, you have to clear your mind. Eventually, you have to learn how to silence that little voice in your head, I guess, and it's hard.
And although music helps meditation, her favorite song when thinking of lyric is Silence.
Sometimes, because I like to envision myself like at a lake or, you know, on the beach, and sometimes I'll feel like my daughter is there, and I'll just sit there and talk to her. So I would just say to everyone, you know, just find something that you do have a passion for, and eventually that becomes your outlet, you know, so that's what you run to when you need something.
Because when you need an outlet, even the smallest things can help the most. Reporting from South Korea, I'm Senior Airman Adam Harder.
In addition to reducing stress, meditation helps the body sleep, manage blood pressure, and produce gray matter in the brain. Taking two separate entities and merging them into one has its advantages. These two units must first tackle the challenges.
Training for real-world situations can be complex, but truly knowing who you're working with makes for a force not easily extinguished.
Today, we're conducting a structural emergency. The main focus of our training today is basically just integration with the Rock Fire Department. It's important to conduct training like this simply because if we actually do get a real-world, large-scale emergency, there's a good chance that we could call upon them to come here and help us out, and vice versa. If they get something on their side of base, there's a good chance they could call us to help them out.
Making the call is the easy part. Interpreting objectives on the other end, well, that's a whole other problem.
This is our first time conducting this training. The biggest barrier that we have between us and the ROCAF when it comes to responding to emergencies is communication.
Identifying potential drawbacks can save a lot of time, but most importantly, it can save lives.
To break down that communication barrier, we're basically just conducting drills just like the one today so that we work together as a team and we figure out where those barriers are so we can eliminate them from happening in a real-world emergency.
I'm Air Force Staff Sergeant Isaac Garden, Osan Air Base, Korea.
U.S. and ROK Air Force forces plan on conducting this type of training monthly to become familiar with one another. The lineup was Americans versus Koreans. Senior Airman Stephen Ellis explains while the obstacles each team created were meant to stump each other, they were also meant to teach each other.
As steady as surgeons, the Korean National Police bomb squad trekked through an old dormitory building riddled with explosives.
As police commandos, we deal with a number of explosives-related incidents occurring in Seoul, and we treat them.
The exercise begins with the Korean National Police, or KNPs, going through a course rigged by the 51st Fighter Wing Explosive Ordnance Disposal, or EOD flight.
This is the second time that we've trained with the KNP police. The first time we were invited to their facility in Seoul, where we spent 3 days of training with them. This time around, they have been invited to Osan, where we are hosting them for another 3 days.
After that, the KNPs set up their own obstacles for the 51st EOD team to navigate.
We do this training not only to improve our skill set as individual EOD troops, but also to improve the relations we have with our host nation. They've been invaluable in providing us support, and we see it as a way of giving back to them.
The 51st EOD team is set to train at the KNP's Seoul facility later this year. Senior Airman Stephen Ellis, Osan Air Base, Korea.
Seoul's KNP bomb squad provides anti-terrorism support to the metropolitan area as well as to the Korean Presidential Security Detail. That was your Around the Peninsula for Thursday, June 4th. From all of us here at AFN, enjoy your evening.